So today we're going to give you a little chat about the Tia Maria Coffee Project. So this is a project that we launched last year at London Cocktail Week. Once we give you a bit of an insight on that, we're going to go through the Tia Maria legend, so a bit of backstory about us, teach you what goes into the bottle itself. We're then going to bring one of our guest speakers on to teach you a bit more about coffee, and then finish off with some caffeinated cocktails.
All right, so to start off, why are we doing this? Why do we have this project? We started this project because we see a very big trend in the world, which is specialty coffee. I'm sure you guys all know that coffee has been exploding throughout the world the last couple of years. And us being Tia Maria, we saw a very nice connection to the cocktail world. And as cocktails are getting more popular as well, we figured we'd make a bridge. And that's the coffee project. So what our aim is to combine both worlds. So on one hand, we have the baristas who know a lot about their coffees. And then we have our bartenders who know a lot about cocktails and spirits. I'm a bartender myself. And for me, it's always been quite hard to work with coffee because I don't know anything about it. And it's a lot of information. So for me, this project was a very easy way of getting to know coffee and knowing how to work with it in cocktails. So that's the aim. When we host academies in our countries, we bring bartenders and baristas together and show them they can learn from each other and let them be creative with cocktails. There's a lot more than the iconic espresso martini. You'll see later on that we have quite some surprising drinks you're going to like.
I, on the other hand, came from Australia, so I had to learn about coffee as long as cocktails. So this is kind of swimming for me. So Tia Maria the legend. We find this is a very interesting thing because a lot of people don't realize where Tia Maria is from. A lot of people assume it's Spanish because of its name, Italian because at the moment we're in Italy, but we want to just give you a bit of insight because we're actually from a lovely little island called Jamaica. So what people kind of realize is that Tia Maria was launched on the global market in 1947 by a very good man called Dr. Kenneth Lee Evans. Dr. Kenneth Lee Evans was a microbiologist during the day and a bartender during night. He found all of his tinctures, all of the flavors, all of the herbs and spices on the island, turned them into cocktail ingredients and hosted these amazing parties. One of his very sort of regular attendees, one of his friends who used to come to these parties was a woman named Nina. Nina one day was so grateful to the doctor for his friendship that she decided to give him a bottle of her own family's coffee liqueur, a secret coffee liqueur, which he became so in love with that he asked her, please, can I have the recipe? Because I want to make more of this and I want to give it to everyone at all of my parties. So she said to him, yes, I'll share with you my family's recipe, but it also has a story behind it. And this story is really one of the most incredible ones, I think. It goes... Troy's going to give you a little storyteller about this.
So the story goes that in the 1750s, during the slavery time in Jamaica, there was a family, a very rich family, and they had a servant, which was very common back then. But there was something special about this servant because she worked in a house and she had a very well connection with the daughter of the family. And this daughter was called Mafe, and the servant was called Maria, and she very nicely liked to know her Aunt Maria, hence Tia Maria. Aunt Maria had a secret recipe which she made, a liquor made from 3 key ingredients. And they would drink it every night on the porch and talk to each other about what happened that day. But of course we all know that slavery ended, revolt came, and the rich families had to flee Jamaica. But just before Mafe and her family left, Maria gave her the secret recipe to her liquor, and she gave her the message to recreate it and think about the moments they shared because they had a lot of nice moments together. So that's the beautiful story behind Tia Maria.
Which is great because of their relationship and their friendship between Mafe, so I was going to say, I'll say it once because I'm not very good at it and I can't speak Spanish, but the young girl's name was Maria Fernanda de Almudena y Valemosa. Hence why we shorten it to Mafe. Yeah. but this relationship between Mafe and Tia Maria was so strong that Mafe then passed this recipe down through her generations, eventually coming to Nina, who then shared it to Dr. Kenneth Lee Evans, And again, loved the liqueur so much that he decided to share this liqueur with the world. So we now have Tia Maria sold in over 80 countries worldwide.
So now we're gonna discuss the spirit. What do we need to make Tia Maria? Tia Maria consists of, or has three key ingredients, and we're just gonna discuss each ingredient briefly. So we have our 100% Arabica coffee, our Jamaican rum, and our vanilla. Rainbow is gonna discuss the Arabica coffee now.
I always love this part of the chat because everyone always seems to think a liqueur has loads of sugars or preservatives or things in it. And I like to just make sure that everyone understands that Tia Maria is made of three things. Very simple, very high quality. Our first one is our 100% Arabica coffee. I'm sure you've seen on the coffee stands outside, or if you've tried it before, there are different styles of coffee, different families. The two main ones are Robusta and Arabica. And we will always use 100% Arabica in our coffee, just because of the quality, the flavor profile, and the potential of the coffee beans. So we select our 100% Arabica coffee. We then buy all of these in green. On site in Sorona, where we make our Tia Maria, we built our own coffee roastery, just so we could make sure that every coffee bean is treated exactly as we want it. So these beautiful coffee beans are bought in. We use a Brazilian blend because it has really beautiful chocolatey notes and hazelnutty and sweetened brown sugars, which I'm sure you have all tasted before in the Tia Maria. We then hand everything over to our master roaster, who takes it to a very specific roast. We like to keep our coffee very light, very flavorsome. So we medium roast our coffee, so we start our caramelization, but we keep all of that potential and all of the other flavors within that coffee bean. Once we do our medium roast, we then soak the coffee for 3 weeks in a cold hydroalcoholic solution. I'm assuming everyone here is in the trade, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But this method is actually kind of known to everyone by a different phrase. It's called cold brewing. So we cold brew our coffee beans to extract all of the flavors, all of the essences, and all of the oils. And then we start to mix that with our other two ingredients, which are?
Our second ingredient is the Jamaican rum. The Jamaican rum we use is overproof rum. This means that when it comes out of the distillation process, we don't water it down. So it keeps 70% high in alcohol. And why is this important? Because liquids that contain more alcohol extract more flavor. So when we soak our beans in 70% alcohol, we extract as much flavor as we can. I always make the reference to making an espresso. When you push water through the beans and extract flavor, we actually do the same thing, but we do it with alcohol, and we do it for 3 weeks. So that's how much flavor we extract from the beans.
Super tasty.
Yeah.
I also love it because everyone assumes Tia Maria is this very nice, like sweet, like a nice, sweet, innocent liqueur, and then you go, actually, that's mostly rum.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Obviously, we have our very strong, prominent coffee flavors, and then we have our very punchy, bold rum flavors. So to make the sort of complete flavor of Tia Maria, we then add Madagascan vanilla sugar. We get our vanilla just from bourbon, so the highest quality vanilla goes into it. We add body with this, and we have a nice sweet finish. So you get your nice strong flavors, and then, okay, we're all adults here, we get a nice happy ending. So.
So what we're going to do now is my colleagues in the back are going to give you all a small tasting of Tia Maria. And I'm just going to walk you through what you're smelling, what you're tasting. So yeah, it will come this way, and then we'll do a tasting all together.
When was the last time anyone here drank straight Tia Maria? In the last week? Hands up.
Okay, yeah.
I said most of you are Italians, though, so.
Yeah, we always see people saying, I don't like Tia Maria. I tried it 15 years ago and I didn't like it, so I just don't drink it anymore. And then I'm like, try it again, and try it again while I'm telling you what's in it, and they're like, oh, this is actually pretty good. So I hope we're going to get the same reaction here. Okay, so I'm just going to start talking through it because we don't have a lot of time. When you have your Tia Maria and you smell it, you really smell your chocolate notes, the vanilla, the toffee. That's mostly the coffee bean, because as you just learned, we don't put chocolate in our liquor. So actually all the chocolate notes you smell and taste are from the coffee bean we use. Then when you taste it and you put it in your mouth and you keep it in your mouth for a couple of seconds, your tongue is tingling. Well, that's the rum doing its job, the punch we need. But when you swallow it, it's soft and nice to your throat. So that's the vanilla kicking in, making it a round taste.
For me, this is like the most important thing, because everything we put in the bottle is exactly what I've told you. We have nothing to hide, no other extra bits in there. It is exactly what we've said today, and it's exactly what you can taste. So,
yeah.
I think someone did say to me, they're like, oh no, but Tia Maria is a chocolate liqueur, isn't it? And I'm like, no. But it does taste chocolatey. I'm waiting for this lady to come back because I've not had any Tia Maria today.
Oh yeah, me neither. Okay, and so now we did the tasting. We know everything about Tia Maria. We're going to talk about coffee, or at least we're not going to talk about coffee. Arkadius is going to talk about coffee. He is our coffee expert, and he's going to walk you through flavor, history, everything you need to know about coffee. So welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to do it by myself. Yeah, hello. Oops, maybe a bit too loud. Hello, my name is Arkadius. I'm here for Tia Maria in order to explain you a bit more about coffee. Why is that so? Probably you realized already that coffee is not coffee. It's not only the preparation, so you have espresso, you have filter coffee and whatever, but the coffee beans themselves lead to different profiles. And that's what I would like to show you in brief right now. First of all, I would like to start with the main distinction, and this is between the Arabica and Robusta beans. Probably you heard a lot of them, Arabica, Robusta, and so on. Arabica is supposed to be the higher quality bean with the higher potential in flavors and tastes than Robusta. But there are also other factors distinguishing this both kinds of coffee. Like the Arabica coffee is also called the highland coffee, and this is why you grow it usually above 800 meters above sea level, while Robusta can be grown also like almost everywhere. Also in flatland you can grow Robusta beans. Robusta is cheaper, it's easier to grow, it has a higher percentage of caffeine. So like for a nice Italian espresso blend, it's good because it gives it also more body, it has a more body potential, but it's also more bitter. While the Arabica bean itself has higher potential or more potential for the almost 800 possible compounds in a coffee. And this is also important. It's not that 800 compounds are present in every coffee, but there is the potential that out of these 800, some of these can be in the coffee you're going to drink. So Arabica is the one that, that's more sweet, more fruity, more like berry-like or whatever. All this gives you Arabica, but Robusta is more flat body and more caffeine. We have to go a bit quick, otherwise I'm going to stop here. And the production of Arabica in the world is far more. It's like 70%, and only 30% is Robusta, and Robusta is also more robust to plagues, to pests and so on. So it's more easy to grow, not only for the level of height, but also for the plant itself. So coffee is grown only within this belt. So you can see coffee can't be grown in the far north and neither in the far south, only within these countries. The origin for coffee is Ethiopia. So there where it comes from, that's the origin for the Arabica bean, and from there it spread out through the world. You have wild-grown Arabica beans in Ethiopia, which just grow there because it's their natural habit, while in South America or Asia or wherever you grow it, you have to invest more time and you have to take more care about the coffee plants in order to make them grow, which is where it originally comes from, is easier. So what is important about coffee, what I told you, is that coffee is not coffee. And not only Arabica is Arabica. We have different kinds of Arabica beans, of Arabica varieties. So like this is one that just was not man-made. Caturra is one of the most grown Arabica varieties that you have. And you can see in the spider map that this kind of coffee leads you to, it has a very low possible amount of dry fruits, while body and fullness are pretty high. While roasted, it goes more into this direction, and it can be pretty bitter. And the possibility for sour is not so high. While when you go to Geisha, this is mainly a variety this is, which is grown in Panama, and which led in the last 5-6 years to incredible prices on auctions, because a geisha from Hacienda Esmeralda in Panama, the first one that they sold in like 2011 was like $24 per kilogram of green coffee. And the world market prices for green coffee is about $3 more or less per kilogram. So it's far more expensive. And they managed even to sell 1 kilogram of green coffee in the upcoming years for $500 per kilogram, which was bought the entire production by a Japanese roastery and sold in Japan for $2,000 for a kilogram for roasted coffee, which is crazy. So this coffee, this variety has a very good possibility or ability to create incredible flavors. And at the World Championships in coffee for barista, for Brewers Cup or whatever, many of them use the geisha variety. And so you can see also there's a difference between this one and the other one. There are 2 others. I go through that quickly just to make, you see there's almost, this one like Central America is another variety, has almost no possibility for sourness, dry fruit. It's not as bitter as the Caturra. It's almost more or less like body fullness like the Caturra. And then we have the Obata. You can see no dried fruits, almost no sour. When roasted, it's difficult. And you can see here on this, like, these 4 different varieties that have different profiles. And this is important because it depends also on the variety that you use for the drink that you're gonna, for the cocktail that you're gonna make maybe with Tia Maria. It will lead you to different results. So if you have this kind of variety, the drink afterwards can be less fruity, a bit more bitter, or a bit more sweet. It depends on what you use. But not only the varieties are important in this case. It's also, sorry, this is in German, but I think you understand it. You know, you have at the top left, you have, for those who don't speak German. On the top left, you have the green coffee, and on the bottom right, you have the full French roast, which is actually almost burnt. So when you roast the coffee, you influence also the potentials of the of flavor that the coffee can have. So it's not only the variety, but also on the roasting. So if you, do we have the cursor? Oh, okay, I have no cursor, so I have to do like
oh, you want to point, yeah.
Well, only from here. After, in English, it's called first crack. You maybe heard of that. So it's like popcorn in the roasting machine, in the drum roaster. When the first crack is reached, it makes a pop, 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 like really in a popcorn machine. And then you know, okay, first crack is reached, and afterwards, the coffee becomes drinkable. Before the first crack, it's not good at all. So only after that, you could stop the roasting process, and you could yeah, and you could use it then already for brewing. In this area, you are and the enzymatic acids. These are the good ones, the good potential in the green coffee. So the ones that lead you to very fruity or sweet or whatever kind of aroma is inside this enzymatic acids that remain still shortly after the first crack, and then they start to vanish. So the longer you roast the coffee, the more uniform becomes the flavor. When you arrive like here at full French, all the coffees taste the same. It's almost burnt. There you are in browning sugar, and this is, sorry, that's pyrolytic. This is already in the pyrolytic phase. between like after first crack and before the second crack, you're in the browning sugar phase where the chocolate-like nutty aromas come through, while yeah, when the coffee is really darkly roasted, it doesn't matter which green coffee you used. So if you want to have a good coffee, you have to select the green coffee, which has to be excellent. Then the roasting has to be appropriate to the coffee that you used, and then you get a different aroma profile. And then this leads you to this. You have the tastes and the aromas. You have only 4 tastes. This is bitter, sweet, sour, and salty. And umami, this is the 5th one, which we don't have here because there umami is like parmigiano, like so this is like what umami tastes like, but we don't have it in coffee usually. So that's why it's not here. And then you have this 3 phases I told you: enzymatic, sugar browning, dry distillation. So this is shortly after first crack, this is between first crack and second crack, and this is after second crack. And after second crack you get carbony, spicy, resinous, while sugar browning you have nutty, caramel-like, chocolate, and before you have the more fruity ones. So in the enzymatic phase, shortly after the first crack, these are the coffees that are perfect, they're perfectly suited for a nice filter coffee. Because to transmit what is inside the green coffee bean, the potential that it has, while brewing, you can have it only in a filter. While espresso is always a bit darker roasted than the filter, you get more or less here. And somewhere in the south of Italy, you get somewhere here. But this is also useful if you have bad quality green coffee, roasting it darkly, yeah, you get the same result if you take a very good green coffee and roast it dark. So if you have a coffee in front of you and you want to brew it and afterwards do your cocktails with it, make sure what kind of coffee it is. Is it lighter roasted, darker roasted? Try the coffee by itself. Check out whether it's more sweety, sour, or whatever, and how this combines and influences your drink that you're going to prepare at the end. So yeah, and here, in order to receive a very good cup of coffee, as I told you, it's not only the green coffee, the perfect roasting, the grinding. The grinding has to be always in accordance with the brewing method. If you brew a filter coffee, then you grind the coffee coarse. If you want an espresso, you grind the coffee fine. And then always the ratio between amount of coffee, water temperature, and the grinding level, these are the factors that are important or to keep in mind when you prepare a coffee. A higher amount of coffee, and with the same amount of water leads to an over-extraction, so the coffee becomes bitter. If you have too little coffee for too much water, it's under-extracted and it has almost no taste. It's like tea-like a bit. And so also with the grinding level, you have to have the proper grinding level in order to receive this coffee. So this is just to make, well, to give you a slightly or small overview, what are the factors influencing the coffee and at the end you drink. So not coffee is coffee and you can take any coffee and will lead you to the same result, but if you're lighter coffee, it's there, medium roasted, and so on and so on. So this is everything from my side, and I will give over the microphone again to Stephanie. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arkadiusz. So I always like to say the world of coffee is so much. I could talk about coffee for weeks. What we have tried to give you is a lot of information in a short amount of time. So I hope we did a good job on that. But essentially what we want to tell people, especially with the bar trade, like Troy was mentioning before, as he was a bartender who never learned coffee, when he started to work in the world of coffee, there was so much to know. Choosing the right coffee for your drink is something I think is incredible. Choosing the right quality of the coffee for your drink is incredible. So when we work with Tia Maria, when we work with our coffee project, we're trying to teach bartenders the importance of this caffeine, the importance of choosing it. We will show you this in a few of our cocktails now. I'm sure everyone is ready for a little bit of a beverage. Has anyone not had a drink yet today?
Very
No?
good. Oh.
Why is Tia Maria so good to mix with coffee?
Well, like we explained in the beginning, Tia Maria has a medium roast coffee bean. And that is important for our liquor because it leaves room in the palate for other flavors. So when you make a coffee cocktail, or this whole project is called the Coffee Project. It's not called the Tia Maria Project. We think our liquor has the best potential to work together with coffee and get out the flavors from the bean that you use in your coffee cocktails. If you would use a different coffee liquor that has a dark roast bean used in the process, it's going to blow your palate away and you're not going to taste the other flavors anymore. If you use an acidy coffee from Ethiopia and you put it in with Tia Maria, you will taste the flowery notes in your cocktail. If you put a dark roasted liquor in that, it will blow away the coffee completely. So you can like not get that coffee.
We like everyone to play along. And also what we're going to be showing you today is, I'm guessing, can anyone tell me what they think the most important, well, the most famous coffee cocktail is?
The espresso martini.
Can anyone name me 5 coffee cocktails? Any?
No.
Apart from an espresso martini, anything else? Like usually White Russian, Irish coffee, but then no one really had anything. So we decided to come up with a whole menu.
Yeah, and how did we come to that menu? So, of course, we can just make cocktails and say these are our coffee cocktails, but we put thought in this. Why do we think of the cocktails how we did? So start.
First things first is we want to stay true to the flavor of coffee. What you are expecting is a coffee cocktail, so I am not going to give you gin and lemonade.
So the other thing that's important for us is that it is easy to, it fits different needs. It fits different needs of different consumers. So, for example, if you're during the day and you feel like having a coffee cocktail, you don't want it to have a lot of alcohol, we have one of those. But if you're feeling like you have a rough day and you want to get a lot of caffeine, a lot of alcohol, you have one by night. We have all. We have it all.
And the last idea was to keep things fun. So like we're saying, we're keeping with the coffee culture. So with coffee culture, come in, sit down. So keeping with the idea of coffee culture, we have a different style. So from well, if there's any Kiwis in the room, I apologize for possibly offending you. I said the flat white from my country in Australia. Obviously things like Americanos, the very classic coffees, and of course the espresso. So keeping the ideas together.
So to give you a bit of an image about what we're talking about is these are the categories we work with. So we have a refreshing category in which we use mint, for example. We're going to taste it on later. It might seem strange, but it works really well together.
If you want just a pick-me-up, something to give you a bit of a wake-up and shake, come on in, guys. Don't be shy. Sit down. Come on, you're already halfway through the door. So if you want something to pick you up, give you a bit of a shake.
Indulge yourself. Everybody likes sweets, so we actually have a cocktail with popcorn syrup.
Bit of a treat for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need a bit of energy, as you can tell, I do have a lot of caffeine in my system. But energy is very good for you. And essentially, we have a coffee cocktail for any situation. Anytime you would like a drink, caffeinated drink, we can have a coffee cocktail. If you're happy, sad, tired, energetic, want to keep the party going, but we have a drink for you.
So let's do it. This is the range we have on coffee cocktails. We're going to make 4. We're going to do 3 from this range, and we're going to do 1 extra, which we both really love.
We have a little secret surprise, a new Tia Maria cocktail for everyone. But lovely Troy here is going to start with our espresso martini.
All right, so just like in bartender, as a barista, you preheat your cups because you want the coffee to come, the hot coffee in a hot cup. We chill our glasses because we have cold beverages and we want to keep them nice and balanced, and temperature is a very important feature to that. So I cool my glass.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to mix things up. I'm going to say we're having a shake-off.
A shake-off?
Because basically, I think I'm better than Troy.
Okay. Do you guys know the story behind the espresso martini? It's a really fun story. So, London, very big cocktail capital, of course.
1983.
1983.
A young man by the name of Dick Bradsell was working in a bar in Soho, and he had this young lady. It has never been confirmed, and to his memory, he took it to the grave with him. Who asked him for the original espresso martini? The story goes that it was some famous supermodel. Unfortunately, the timings don't match up so well for who they say it was. Essentially, he was asked by a very beautiful young lady for a drink. Again, we're all adults here. For a drink to wake her up and fuck her up. In the 80s, vodka was king. So he looked at his station. Luckily, a couple weeks beforehand, you better be pouring my shot as well.
What do I have to do?
Pour my portion as well.
Okay.
He goes, vodka is king. So he looks at his station. A couple weeks beforehand, Illy had just installed a new coffee machine. So he looks at his station, there's coffee everywhere. It's a mess. He goes, okay, I'm going to put coffee in it. I'm going to put vodka in it. And then he looks into his rack and he sees, okay, I'm going to put some coffee liqueur in it. So he actually picks up Kahlua and Tia Maria. So both go into this original espresso martini with a touch of sugar. Shakes it up, calls it the vodka espresso, also known as the pharmaceutical stimulant, but nowadays we call it our espresso martini. And it is, I think, number 5 on the Difford's Guide, most looked up cocktails. So.
I'm done.
You're done? Have
Yeah.
I got everything in my shaker? Have you sabotaged me?
Yeah, of course.
So we're going to see a shake-off is essentially, I think I can shake better than him. We're going to see who gets the best head. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, I think I won. Yeah.
You did sabotage me.
You sabotaged yourself. We garnish it with 3 beans. Do you want to tell the story of the beans? One is for hope, one is for love, and one is for luck. And we have our espresso martini. The guys from the back will they will bring you a tasting of the espresso martini, so you can all know what we're talking about. We're going to build up the flavor. So we'll do the espresso martini now, very straightforward coffee cocktail. Okay, very straightforward coffee cocktail. Oh, very good. So vodka, coffee, liquor,
Double shake
coffee,
makes it
easy.
work. Did you say the...
Yeah, I did.
You did? Health, wealth, and happiness. It's a little 3 wishes for everyone who is drinking our espresso martinis today. We wish you all the health, wealth, and happiness.
Do you guys like it? Is it good? Cheers. Oh, I have one as well, yes.
I've got better head than you.
Yeah. You double shaked it.
So, a nice classic. Similar to our Tia Maria, we like to have only 3 ingredients in it. Well, touch of sugar. But you have your Tia Maria, you have your vodka, so you have your sweet, you have, same as the vanilla sugar, you have the vodka, like we would put our rum in, and then we have our coffee. Simple drink, simple message, but very, very good. The next one I'm going to show you is something to refresh you. So we've got something to perk you up right now, but on a hot summer's day, sometimes you just want something to sip. We're going to be doing the Tia Mint Americano. If you can say the ingredients as I put them on, because I'm going to have to get rid of this.
Sure. So the first time anyone made this cocktail for me, I was kind of skeptic. I was like, okay, mint and coffee, I don't know how that's going to work. But actually, it works perfect. So what we're going to do is we have our mint. We clap the mint to release the aromas. I don't know if you guys ever ate a mint leaf, but it's super bitter. So you only want to have the oils that you get from clapping. We're going to put Tia Maria in, and we're going to put espresso in. 50 ml of both. Easy to remember, easy to make at home. And then just a drop of sugar syrup as well, to give it a full sweet note. This one. Yeah. Just a drop. And no, we're just going to build it in the glass. So just put ice in the glass, and to end it, we're going to top it up with sparkling water. Why do we top it up with sparkling water? Because as you clap mint, it releases the aroma you want to taste. This was what sparkling water does in the glass. The bubbles clap against the mint leaf, so it releases the aroma. And we have our mint Americano.
Little slap and a tickle.
Yes. There it is. All right, I think you're going to have a tasting of this as well. But I think we don't have a lot of time left, so I'm just going to go on through the next 10 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm just going to go on. The next one I'm going to make is the popcorn frappe, which I just told you about. Popcorn flavored coffee cocktail. Okay, we have time, so we're fine. Cool. In this case, I'm going to shake it, so I'm going to pre-chill my glass again. Put it on the bar. I'm just going to use this shaker because it has more or less the same ingredients as an espresso martini. Normally, I would never do this because you have to clean it in between, but I don't really have a bucket of water.
We're going to play a bit cowboy today.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to put in 50 ml of Tia Maria. Again, the recipe is really easy to remember. 50 ml of coffee. 50 ml of milk. And popcorn syrup. More or less 20. But you can always adjust the sweetness if you want to.
You're all going to be quadruple parked by the end of this because you're going to get 3 drinks all at once. Woo, come on. Give him he's a bit of a shy boy. Let's just Woo!
All right. Nice shake. And I'm going to strain it into my glass. The recipe is too big for the glass, so I'm just going to do it like this. And we're going to garnish it with popcorn, of course. So it looks very cool. And then you have your Tia Maria popcorn frappe. The last one we're going to do is a little bit of a surprise.
One moment. I'll be back in a second. Pay no attention to the man behind
They're waiting for their surprise. Come on. So actually, it's a variation on a trend that's going on. What's a big trend in coffee world if you think about beverages?
Yes, please.
Nothing? No? What do you think?
Well,
Cold brew?
If we can start taking
Okay, yeah. I'm actually trying to tell you about the espresso and tonic, which is pretty hot right now. So espresso and tonic, and we were like, we can do something with that.
Yeah, it was quite funny. Last summer, one of my friends who's a barista in the UK, he's in the top 10 baristas. I think he won 3rd at one of the most recent competitions. Hello, come on in. He won a competition by making a drink with espresso, honey, grapefruit bitters, and tonic. And I tried it, and it was delicious. And I said, okay, man, if you're going to be using espresso and honey, I'm pretty sure I can use Tia Maria. So I started doing tia and tonics. A few months later, I got a phone call from my bosses in Italy, and I had Rainbow, do you know about this tea and tonic? I've seen, like, what do you think of it? And I was thinking, I'm going to get in so much trouble because I hadn't told anyone that I was making all of my friends drink this drink. And I was thinking, they're calling me up to say, why are you doing this? It's not good. And I was like, oh, you know, have you tried it? It's quite nice. And they go, yeah, it's really good, actually. We want to give everyone tea and tonic. And I went, oh, thank God. So we now bring it to everyone. I'm going to show you how to make it. But again, I think we're being quite fast. So we've got about 10 minutes, and you can try all of the drinks. Don't worry, they're coming out to you. But I'm going to show you the tea and tonic. Really simple, as the name might suggest.
The method in making it is very important, though, because Tia Maria has it's a liquor, so it's sweet and it has a high density. If you start by putting in Tia Maria in the glass, it will stay on the top of your, in the bottom of your glass, and won't mix well with the other ingredients. So what we're going to do is that we're going to start with the tonic. We're going to serve it over ice.
And everything is about ratios. The ratio we like to do is 2 to 1. So 2 parts tonic to 1 part Tia Maria. Again, I like to talk about things in equal parts because if you want to have a liter of espresso martini, you do you. Like, I'm not going to stop you. Technically 3 liters if you go a liter of each ingredient. So very slowly, we keep it to the top. Also, tonic does matter. Like we talk about the quality of ingredients and the importance of your ingredients. Try to use a tonic that has not too much sweetness in it, has a bit of dryness.
Yeah.
So we have that, tonic, and then espresso.
A drop.
A drop, 15 mil, 10 to 15 mil. And then
I can hold this for you.
can you hear me? That's all right.
Okay.
And then our Tia Maria. I would usually do 100 ml of tonic, 50 ml Tia Maria, but this glass is very small, so I've minimized the ratio a little bit. There we are. The final trick is a zest of citrus. You can use grapefruit, orange, or lemon. Today we're going to be using grapefruit because it is, I guess, the most pleasing of the lot.
This is lemon.
That's grapefruit.
Is it grapefruit?
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
I cut it myself.
Yeah.
I prefer lemon.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of Chinotto, the Italian spritz. If you like chocolate orange flavors, please put orange on. So coming around is the mint Americano, just so you know. But all you want to do with your zest is I always prefer to serve the tea and tonic without a straw. Because we've put the attention into putting the oils on top of the drink, you want to drink your drink through all of those beautiful citrus notes. So, and again, why we do the method of pouring the tea last is because same reason. But that is our tea and tonic.
What I like about the tea and tonic is that you can easily make variations on it. You can, we made it with tea, espresso, and tonic. You can change the tonic. You can change the coffee. You can even change the garnish into orange or lemon or whatever.
You can put tequila in it.
Yeah.
I do that. Tea tequila tonics. I also really like it. For me, the tea and tonic is, I do not in any way advocate drinking in high expenses. But I really like daytime drinking. When you're sitting in the afternoon and you treat yourself to a spritz or something like that, this tea and tonic was built around that idea. You can sit, you can relax, refresh, and have a couple throughout the day. So what does everyone think of the mint Americano? Refreshing?
Surprising.
Different?
Yeah.
Works with the... Can you taste the chocolate in the Tia Maria with the mint? What we do is we pair Tia Maria with different flavors to sort of accentuate. Like when you're cooking and you put sugar to bring out saltiness, or like you put salt to bring out sweetness, what we do is we pair Tia Maria with different flavors to bring out different notes within the liqueur itself.
I think another important thing to mention is that we aim to create cocktails that are suitable to drink throughout through the day. So we see a gap in time in the industry between 3 and 7, in which people maybe don't want to drink beer or wine or something strong. And we can offer them a low alcoholic Tia Maria coffee cocktail or refreshing drink. But we also see worldwide there's a very big trend going on in low ABV drinks. We feel that the coffee project is, or our range really suits that trend as well. And we want to create a new moment during the day in which people can enjoy a nice drink.
I love this. Have you heard about the theory of the swan? Which is everything looks calm on the surface and everyone is furiously working behind. I wish you guys could see what's going on behind me right now. Never seen 4 brand ambassadors work so fast. But has anyone been over to our stand today or yesterday? Because you can try all of the drinks, the other drinks. So the Tia White Russian is a very, flat white Russian is a very special one to me. It is a nice twist on it. Keeping things accessible, yet changing them up. So what we do is stay true to our roots. We took out the vodka and put in Jamaican rum, or any rum really. But we have our Tia Maria, our rum, our coffee, and our milk. It's a nice, simple change-up, but to me it's like a white Russian with its big boy pants on, because you can taste that rum when you take that first sip. So that is delicious. Or if you have a sweeter tooth, I think we are under the counter.
Under the counter we have
the
Tia Cappuccino, which is on the screen, which is actually an espresso martini topped with salted caramel foam, which is terrific. Also at our stand, it's here in Hall 7. It's really close. We have booklets containing all the information from the academy and recipes as well. So if you guys are interested in what we're saying, definitely pop by, have a chat, try a cocktail, and take your booklet with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys like it? Did you like new drinks? Do you like playing with coffee? Out of here, is anyone a barista? You a barista?
Yeah, there too.
So you're like, I like the coffee. Or brand ambassadors, or wine buyers, or spirit buyers? No? Yes? I know you are, Simona. You're looking at me like, well, I'm like, I don't know what else. Just come over and chat with you guys. Come sit down. Come and sit down and watch my brand ambassadors as they come out covered and going, here's your drink, here's your popcorn frappe. The next one is the popcorn frappe. It is made by Rod Islamia, who is the Tia Maria Global Ambassador. So he has the sweetest tooth I know of any human being in the world.
Yes, there it is.
And he likes to indulge himself. So this one was built around him having almost like a dessert during the daytime. So it is that sweet popcorny treat in the afternoon. But let me take that one.
Okay. How do you guys like it? You tasted it already? Did you like it? It has a bit...
Popcorny, sweet, delicious?
Yeah, the syrup seems really sweet, but because of the combination of milk and coffee, it's actually, it's a sweet drink, but it's not that your teeth fall out or something, which you might expect when you get it in your hand. It's a very nice surprise in your mouth, I feel. And the last drink we're going to do is the tea and tonic.
Popcorn, yeah.
Rainbow. Tea and tonic is last drink. We're going to do it with grapefruit?
We're going to have a mixture of grapefruit and orange.
Orange and grapefruit.
Orange and grapefruit.
Cool. Nice.
I do like it. Iced popcorn. No. So with the coffee project, we are playing around with different ideas. Obviously, giving a lot of attention to the espresso, but then also looking into things like using cascara, and I like to play around with doing filter coffee. Because like we were talking about before, coffees that are made for filter are usually quite fruity and quite big and quite juicy. So when you mix that with Tia Maria in a highball, it's a nice, refreshing, long drink. I really like to get bartenders in the community thinking about how to make different coffee cocktails. I think what got to me was the fact that these barista competitions. These huh? A syrup of popcorn from Monin. Let me show you the bottle. It's delicious. It smells like you're in a cinema. Have you seen it?
The tea and tonic. The tea and tonic. It's not on screen. No. So what we do in different countries where we have the project active is we work together with different roasteries, and with them we host academies, and we invite coffee partners and bartenders to learn about Tia Maria and coffee, and then we get them to taste and make cocktails. And the reactions are always very, very good, very enthusiastic. People love playing around and just experimenting with different ingredients. That's what I love about being a bartender, and we see a lot of baristas discovering that it's very fun to do that, because they're normally all about coffee and coffee and coffee and under-extraction and over-extraction. Actually, one of my friends in Holland made a sour, but he used under-extracted coffee instead of lemon juice. So what you guys might feel like maybe an insult to a good espresso because you're under-extracting it, we can swap it out and use it in a cocktail as a different kind of ingredient, which is very nice. And as you learn more about coffee and about cocktails, you can play around with it more and more and more and more, and you get amazing recipes, fruity recipes, fresh recipes, anything you want. It's an endless world.
Don't send a man to do a woman's job.
Uh-oh. How far are they? It's a waiting game. I think this should be the cocktail that's easiest to make, so it won't take a lot of time. We don't have to shake it or anything. So I'm guessing they'll be out really soon, since she took the opener for the tonic, which is, of course, very important.
If you hear the screams and cries of the other brand ambassadors, it's because I'm out here now.
How is it coming along? It's good? I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm just going to stay on stage. I'm just going to chat about Holland, because I like Holland. I'm from Holland. Have you guys ever been in Holland? No? Well, it's very close to Germany. I live very close to the German border. And the funny thing is that I work in a bar, and you guys probably all know Amsterdam, and the bar scene there is insanely big. And everything that happens in Amsterdam is straight from London, New York, Berlin maybe. But what happens in Amsterdam takes maybe 2 years before it reaches the city where I live. So when all the magazines are writing about the gin tonic trend is over, or things like that, when I go to clients, they're always like, yeah, we don't want to do gin tonics anymore because we hear it's over. And I'm like, yeah, but they write about trends in Amsterdam, in London, in Berlin. By the time they get to the place where I live, we're 2 years ahead, 2 years later. And the funny thing is, it's a 1 hour drive. So it doesn't make any sense, but the people are so different. They need time to adjust to certain trends. That's funny for me. But I mean, I think probably in Germany you will have the same thing. In different parts of Germany you have different kind of trends going on. So it's always important to know who you're talking to if you're talking about Tia Maria. Yeah, there they are. So we are really trying to pick our contenders, or people who we invite for the academies. We really try to get the right people to come there. First reactions on a tea and tonic over here is good. Do you like it? Very nice, very nice. I think Rainbow is just full on helping them now. Do you guys have a favorite? No? No favorites? Or are they all good? That's a better way of saying it, I guess. I think they're more on their way. Or do we already have enough? 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So yeah, this is, well, to repeat it, this is tonic, a little bit of espresso, Tia Maria, and a citrus zest. In this case, it's grapefruit and orange. So it's nice and fruity in your nose.
It's all right. We got out of this. They're all still alive, and none of them have cried yet.
All right then. Very good, very good, very good. Does everybody have their tea and tonic? I think so.
I need a drink.
Well, if everybody has one.
So you do have a mixture of, there's some grapefruit coming around and some orange. Again, come over to the stand. And please, this is from me. Simona, cover your ears. Please try the one with lemon in it, because lemon to me is the favorite.
For me too.
My favorite.
Mine as well.
I think it's the bartender's favorite, because the lemon brings out that quite citron and the acidity, and then the bitterness with the espresso in it. So it has a bartender's flavor. But
here you go.
Just to let you know, so we actually run academies at coffee roasters as well. So depending on which city you're in or which country you're in, contact Tia Maria, and you can always see if you can come along to one of our full sessions. We do 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, so you can learn about the processes of coffee, of drying it, roasting it, and all of those things. If you're really interested in trying to like really get into caffeine cocktails. I always like to say hashtag let's get caffeinated. But did you all enjoy? Thank you. Can I just, boys, can you all come out and give a bow? Boys, come here, my ambassadors. Come out.
Come on, come on, come on.
All 4 of you, come out. A hand to my backstage
Very good, very well.
They're all slightly covered in caffeine, but and I would like to thank you all for coming out today, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys over at the stand.
Thank you.